Hello everybody, Chris Wood here, September 4th, 2022. Just doing a quick update to let everybody know that is responsible for my injuring, but they already know that it is done. I no longer feel anything in my head. I no longer feel anything barely in the whole right side of my body. My head and my face are completely and totally numb. I feel nothing. I do not feel my thoughts. I do not feel my consciousness. This is not mental illness and it is not drugs. I have been injured and I am being injured internally by what is called remote neuromonitoring. Back in 2019, I was at my previous address and I was shot by the ex-O.P.P chief. He and somebody in a black truck went by, waved, I waved back. They pointed something, they shot it, it went into my right ear. I started having the problems ever since. The lies, cover-ups, arrest refusals, stalking, medical blacklisting, medical treatment refusals, file falsifications, having me falsely arrested for wanting police and doctors and their boss, co-offender, human trafficker, sex offender, my identity thief, William Bill Wooldridge, last known used name, 149 Center Street North. He is using remote neuro monitoring on me, and he is using it to mentally fuck me up. He is passing it around to other people here in town who are involved, who are O.P.P co-offenders, drug traffickers, and human traffickers with and for them. Tyler Lake, Blair Hardy, Ray, his guy here in town owns a white pit bull that's deaf. His roommate Sam, conveniently I went to the store earlier and as soon as I was coming out, she was right there coming across the road towards me. There's Hope Mills, there is Allie Cooper, there's a Michelle, there's a Bucktooth Bob, there's Maggie Falls, there's Bert Hustler. They've all used it on me. All of this, they are all junkies passing this around to mentally fuck me up in hopes that I cannot remember this crime to me, in hopes that I think that everything is normal so everybody gets away with this. I am the victim of injuring, torturing, kidnapping, sex assault. I am the victim of identity theft, I am the victim of human trafficking, and I am the victim of attempted murder. My mother was stalked and murdered back in 2020 by Blair Hardy and William Wooldridge. Reason they were doing it was because William Wooldridge, was told by Spencer Mills, O.P.P 14716, and Stacy, a mental health worker, that he and I were switched at birth. He also thinks that he is Harry Potter, but he also thinks that he is my dad as well. I am 50, he is 70. My mother was 77 at the time. That just will not add up. That would make my mother 7 years old. There's no possible way, you stupid son of a bitch. But this is what you get when you're in a permanent mess psychosis and being as delusional as you are. O.P.P deliver drugs to William Wooldridge, to Blair Hardy, who is allegedly in jail. But he is a boss and co-offender, and he is guilty of murder. They deliver to Tyler Lake. They deliver to all the ones named. Doctors here that are involved and co-committing with and for O.P.P with criminal negligent intent. Dr. Tatiana V, Stacy's girlfriend, aka Margie V. She's the one that falsifies medical files on the victims to assure that they get medically blacklisted so everybody gets away with the crimes. There's Joy Hadley, there is Dr. Waldron, Dr. Martin, Dr. Pritchard, and Dr. McGregor. Ones they've used to discriminate against me, so is Dr. Ambimbola, Dr. Fardell, Dr. Sue. Other ones involved: Triage Nurse Terry, Triage Nurse Tanya, and Triage Nurse David, and Paladin Security. Human sex trade, slavery, trafficking, kidnapping, sex assaults, false arrests, get blood and piss, kidnapping to get blood and piss, false arrest to get prints, pictures, everything needed to deflect crimes for this identity theft, for the framing, the forgeries, and the frauds against me, and I will not be proven wrong. I've been going through this for 3 years. I have been deformed to about 50 different people from all these different people broadcasting through me from the remote narrow monitoring. And this is in hopes to mentally fuck me up, like I said, so I am not thinking about this, so I am not talking about this, so they get away with it. But whatever they do to me, they are still guilty of murdering my mother, and they will pay for it. One way or another, O.P.P will pay for the murders that they are guilty of. One way or another, their boss and their co-offenders will pay for the murders and other crimes they are guilty of, along with the doctors here. I am the end of my bloodline. This is revenge retaliation on me through O.P.P for speaking of their crimes. Right now I'm being broadcasted through from the remote narrow monitoring by Tyler Lake and Javen Allstein. They are using it on me. Right now when I am doing this, my face has been deformed to about 50 different shapes and sizes. My skull's been deformed to about 50 different shapes and sizes. And I have proven it. Been called a liar, not being taken serious of what has taken place with me and by whom. O.P.P, the ones named, and the doctors, they also have a justice of the peace to make accusations against the victims of them, to obstruct, to make sure that they all get away with their crimes. So, on the end of my bloodline, I am an identity theft victim, compliments of O.P.P, Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. This is how they human traffic, this is how they frame, and this is how they murder. And they have co-offenders, they have drug-fed, money-paid co-offenders, they have inmates that they're using. They are putting prisoner tracking onto their victims for stalking, for framing, for tracking non-criminals, lies of being suicidal, lies of being self-harmers, lies of having long history of criminal history, and lies of having long history is psychological, whatever, and none of it is true, and none of these bastards are having to prove any of it. But in the process, I am being seriously numbed down to be dumbed down. If I do not talk about this or forget about it, it goes away, and they get away with everything. So this is very 100% serious against me. If no more videos, I am Chris Wood. Lennox and Addington, Napanee, Ontario, Canada, and I am an identity theft victim, human trafficking victim, and attempted murder victim, and I will be disappearing as William Wooldridge or Blair Hardy, who they refuse to arrest. I also have their prisoner tracking on me. This is how they are also tracking me and framing me, plus the remote narrow monitoring. I've been going through this for 3 years. My legal rights, my medical rights, my human rights have been taken. I am the last of my bloodline, so congratulations to O.P.P. Spencer Mills, O.P.P. ex-chief, Robert Lucas, Robert Kane, Shannon Cork, Stacy mental health worker, and Shelley Hafner or Huffner, the doctors that I named, and also Blair Hardy, William Aldridge, Tyler Lake, Javen Allstein, Ray Sam, Hope Mills, Destiny Larrabee Gilchrist, Crystal Larrabee, another guy, and a guy named Mike who is homeless, lives in a tent or a trailer here in Napanee. Gray hair, kinda scruffy. And that's where a lot of the junkies hang out. There's a blonde-haired woman. She's obese. She lives on the corner of Center Street and Thomas side door entrance. They are also involved as well. Human traffickers, human sex trade, slavery trafficking, and all of them are guilty of murders and attempted murders. They are all co-offenders, drug-fed, and money paid from O.P.P. Watch yourselves and watch your children. They are into pedophilia, sex slavery trafficking. So, and watch your parents because they murder for insurance and for revenge retaliation. If no more speaking of this, take it serious. Chris Wood here. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Love all, hate none.